Joey, a nice question from Australia. You say, why do leopards have such small litters compared with lions and cheetahs? Joey, they're not that much smaller, but they are smaller. And let's address each one separately. Lions, larger litters, often sort of 4 will survive, normally 3, but up to 6. Remember, they're social, so they live in a group. It's much easier to feed them if they're all together. Whereas, obviously, with a leopard, she's solitary, she's got only herself to look after them. So I think it's purely a function of the fact that there's a pride, they're easier to look after when lions, and therefore they're between 1.5 to 2 times the number that they're going to be otherwise. If we look at cheetah, probably slightly larger litters. Joey, I wouldn't say much larger at all. I mean, I've often seen 3 cheetah cubs together. That's not too unusual. And I don't think that that's... leopards, you will often find 3. Normally only 2 will survive, sometimes only 1. And I think you'll find with cheetah, there's almost a little bit of what we call R selection, or K selection, sorry, where they almost have extra cubs as an insurance policy. They don't have a very good success rate, and so I think you'll find that they probably maintain 3 or 4 for a little bit longer, almost as an insurance policy, Joey. That would be my guess for cheetah. Lions more, simply because there's more to eat, there's greater protection, inner pride. Once taxons moved out. That is so cool. So, you were also wondering around why they don't play with each other, and we were chatting about that. And what's interesting here is that they're spending, not only are they not playing with each other, they're also spending less and less time with each other. So, and they're prepared to sit further away from each other than they were before, which I think is quite interesting. Georgianne, you say lots of lions, lots of leopards, lots of hyena cubs. It bodes well for the area. Well, I don't think it's a coincidence that we're going into a drought, and it's much easier for the predators now to survive, because there's a weakness amongst the herbivores because they are compromised nutritionally. David's also compromised nutritionally. He's got consumption, that's why he's coughing. Georgianne, let's just go a little bit forward. So yes, it does bode well for the predators, and of course it goes in ebbs and flows, you know. I mean, they're going to go through tough times in the same way that the herbivores go through tough times. We'll just have one last look over here and see if we can see what I think is George. He's still there, is he? Davey, can you see him? I can't see him. Yeah, I think I can. I think he's just moving. No. Phantom leopard, as Louise says. I think he's just gone down the other side. All right, everyone, we're going to have one more look at the leopard in the tree. Up a bit.
Oh, there's the squirrel.
There's the squirrel. There you go. And you see the tail? And then to the left of that, Dave, you've got the leopard. There she is. I'm just going to go... Davey, what do you think? Maybe slightly forward. There you go. That's about as good as we're going to get. And a question there, the name I'm afraid I missed, about black leopards, and have we ever seen them in this area? No, I've never seen one. As from Suspicious Primate, I've never seen a black leopard here. I've heard rumour of one once. I don't believe it to have been true. This is not good habitat for black leopards. Habitat for black leopards would be much more forested area, and so the selective pressure to have them in this area would be very reduced. It's not impossible, but it's highly, highly unlikely. Black leopards much more prominent in areas where there's thick forest, as opposed to this kind of dappled woodland. Beautiful. All right, everyone, that's going to be it for now. We'll come back here a little bit later today. It'll be for the last time that we say goodbye to George and Charlotte. Oh, look, 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 right there, right there, right there.
I don't see it.
Right on the top there, Dave. Up, there we go. Look. Well, that's very nice. I think we'll stay here a little bit longer if it's all the same to you, everyone. Unless you'd much rather leave. That's definitely George. Just playing with the stick in the same way that a little puppy would play with the stick. Now, I'm just going to give you an idea how far away from each other they are. They're about 100 meters from each other, you know. That's 30 feet, 325 feet from each other. So that is quite a distance. They will be aware of where each other are, but more and more. Now, Michael, you say that you can tell the difference between these two cubs by looking at their foreheads, and you say that Charlotte has a wow pattern on her forehead that George does not. Now, I have to confess to you, I don't see that, but I'm not disputing it at all, because it took me a long time to be able to see the wow on the front of Karula's forehead. For me, apart from the eye colour, which will change, if you look at George, he's very clearly got 3 spots on his left and 3 spots on his right. And Charlotte has got 4 on her right or our left. She's got 1 above the other 3. And that's what I mean is just above the whisker line there. You can see the 3 on her left, our right. Or at least on his left, our right. There, just next to his nose, you can see those 3 spots. Now, Charlotte's got a very similar pattern, but on the other side, there's a dot just above them. And that looks like a sort of what I describe as her Cindy Crawford mole, and that's how I know the difference between them. Other than the eye colour. This is brilliant. This is a wonderful sighting, everybody. I know that it's not the best view in the world, but we're sitting here with a little leopard cub, 5 months old, completely relaxed around us, not in the slightest bit worried about us. Davey, if I go forward, are you going to be able to film under this branch, or is it going to be in your way?
I think it would be better done.
Okay, let's try. Let me just sneak forward, and while I do that, Boetie, how's that? Boetie, I think you are asking, it's you asking, what are the success rates of the cats in Africa? I'm assuming you're meaning the sort of ages, or the number of survival, or the surviving rates that they have. Leopards, probably 2 in 10. 1 in 10 males go to adulthood or independence. I'd suspect probably 3 in 10 females. And I think you'll find that with the cheetahs, it's probably 2 in 10 get to adulthood independence. Lions, definitely only 1 in 10 males get to independence and dominating a territory. And again, probably 3 in 10 females. So not very high. I'm just going to quickly call Herbert on the Game Drive channel. Flattening the ears there. Here comes Ephraim. I think that's not the worst leopard shot we've ever had. Ngwanyane lensinyeni lenzago. Wayvon? La. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, look at that shot. Look at little George, everyone. Fiona, you want to know if they get a thick coat in the winter and then molt in the summertime? It's not obvious like it is with dogs and cats in domestic animals. I've no doubt their hairs do get longer. I've no doubt that they molt during the heat of our blindingly hot summers that we have here. So yes, I'm sure. They don't appear noticeably fluffier during the winter time than they do in the summer, I must say. So sweet. Very sleepy, Dave, you see that? Sleep, I think, in the apricity of the morning, perhaps. Oh, there we go. Very fat little belly, you know. That Karula has done an exceptional job. Anna-Marie, you want to know why we're naming the cubs so soon? Well, the attempt is to name them before they're a year old, largely for our viewers. Anna-Marie, it's because what happened is we don't want there to be any confusion. Well, I think that's probably going to be our sighting, everyone.